Hello, everybody. I am in the UK. So bland back there. I'm in a nondescript location. Um, Hello, everyone. Interesting. Um, so I've been getting some of the uh, news about tariffs and mostly from Cassie and her husband saying what is going on. Um, And then my sleeping's been all off because I have jet lag, so I'm waking up in the middle of the night. I'm kind of sleeping a couple hours here, just a couple hours there. And I had the weirdest dream. And I think that, well, I'll just tell you. So in the dream, I was looking down at my feet and there I was like kind of ankle deep in water. And I started to kind of look around and notice there's all these people and the water kind of it's kind of like a pool. Like it's shallow and then it gets deeper and deeper and deeper. And some people are like kind of walking through it. Some people are just kind of sitting there putting their feet in. People are, it's like they're waiting. And I keep looking around, trying to like find somebody or something that will tell me what's going on because I'm like, what is happening? And and nobody's really saying or doing anything, but everybody's just kind of in this water at different levels. Some are deeper, but just standing there and kind of looking around, and other people are in the more shallow. And so I walk in and like I walk in deeper and deeper and deeper. And there's a guy just kind of floating, like just being like, yay. And I'm like, excuse me, do you know what's going on here? And he's like, yeah. He's like, well, we're just kind of waiting. And I said, well, what's going on? And he said, well, he's like, it's going to be okay. But and I said, well, are we waiting for someone? And he's like, no, we're not. He's like, but we're just kind of waiting. We have to do this all together. That's what he said. We need to do this all together. And so I'm like, okay. And he's like, but it'll be fine because look. And I looked across to where I could see other like groups of people in water. And they were like, it was like the sun was shining. And that was the other thing is it was very gloomy, or it was very like kind of dark and gloomy, and like you couldn't really see the bottom of the where the water was at the bottom, like the bottom of the pool or whatever where the water was at the bottom, whatever the bottom of the water. It was murky. And I looked over and there's all these different like areas and people are like, yay, and like having fun and like swimming and have they boats and and I said, oh, okay. And he's like, but we have to do it all together. And I was like, oh, okay. And then he's like, oh, look. And I looked to the end of our pool, like our murky, icky pool, and there were all these American flags flying. And I woke up. And when I woke up, the first thing that came to me was the 4th of July. I don't know why. But I felt like when I thought about this dream, I was like, what was that? And what I felt like, and you guys can tell me what you think as well. But what I felt was, because I'm going back to my video where I talked about the end of the movie, right? The end of the movie. And what I think that this man was saying was, we are going to have to unite and um, we're going to have to be the ones to tell these people to get out. We're going to have to do it. It's not going to be some system. It's not going to be, we're going to have to do it. And I felt like they were showing us when he said, look, it was other countries that have had to do this in the past. And I felt like flags was like something was going to happen on the 4th of July, or this would happen, begin at the 4th of July. The 4th of July was something. So I don't know if you've heard anything, or if what the feeling you get. Look, I'm getting full chills right now. There's something about this, and I felt like the reason everybody was kind of like in, kind of out, kind of like they were waiting, is because we keep waiting for somebody to tell us what to do. We keep waiting for put impeachment things, put into, and it's like, no, it's gonna have to be us telling these people to get out. We don't like this. Um, uh, we know you're an, I'll say, for entertainment purposes only, we know you're an asset for somebody. We want you to get out. So it's going to be kind of a communal, and it's going to be all of us. And I felt like it was going to be all of us. It wasn't going to be like just the Democrats. It was going to be like everybody. And so that could also be what we're waiting for, is kind of everybody to get on board and that kind of thing. But it was such a weird dream, and that feeling you get when you know this is something else. This is not, because I could remember all of it. I could remember like every bit of it, whereas usually if I was in visitation dream, I can remember all of it, but it is rare that I can remember the whole thing from start to finish. And then I wake up at a specific point with something in my head. That just does not happen every day. So I wanted to give you that. And then I also wanted to give you something that I felt like I wanted to talk about on Sunday, but I thought, since I'm doing this, I'll just throw it in. In chapter 10 of the A New Earth, which is where our study group is coming up on our 10th week next week. In that chapter, Eckhart Tolle, and you can drink, even if it's not Sunday, you can have a drink. Even if it's noon, you can have a drink. In that chapter, he talks about a specific group called frequency holders. And I thought that would be perfect for us to do, because it's something that you can decide when you do it, but, and I'll explain what it is. So first of all, when you're in the present moment, you're out of your head. You're not in your head. You're not in time. You're not in the past. You're not in the future. You're right here and right now. That's where I read from. Like when I'm talking to you now, that's where I am. I'm in the present moment because I have access to my spirit, my being, which has access to, or my higher self. It has access to my guides. It's like it runs through, at least that's the way I picture it and imagine it. I don't know if that's exactly the way it works, but that's how I picture it. But when you're in the present moment, what he talks about is you're aligned with your human and your being, your human part of you, your personality, and your spirit. Your human and your consciousness, right? A new consciousness has come in when you're in the present moment. We are at our most powerful in that. That's where when I talk about how, to know what to do, to know how to respond, to know how to react, to all of that is found in the present moment. And you can reach that by doing meditation. That's where you kind of go deeper and you kind of pull back from your personality and go more into your spirit and have that more direct access. But you can also just be in the present. Just be wherever you are, be in that moment. If you're doing dishes, just do dishes. If you're making coffee, just make coffee. If you're out in your garden, just do gardening. So you're very present and alert and aware. You can use your senses to become very present, because it's hard for us to do. Our mind is always interfering. And what you're trying to do is quiet the mind and just be in the moment. But he calls those people that are kind of in the moment all the time. So you think of like monks, nuns, people that are in this state all the time. They're frequency holders. That's what they're doing. They're holding the consciousness. They're holding the higher consciousness, basically, for humanity. And so I felt like this would be a great thing for all of us to participate in. And you can do it whenever you can fit it in, whenever you can do it. Just know that and put that intention behind it. I'm going to be a frequency holder. So when I plan these points in my day, which I'll talk about in a second, I'm holding the frequency for humanity. I'm holding that frequency. And the way that I do it, and I do it so I can stay connected, so I can read, so I can do the club, so I can do the things that I do for the channel and do readings and stuff. I sprinkle it through my day so that I'm present in the morning, I'm present in the afternoon, and I'm present in the evening. So in the morning, I'm always completely present when I make my coffee and drink my coffee. And that to me is an easy one because you've got the scent of the coffee and you've got very specific things you're doing. And so I'll just watch my spoon go around and I'm just very present, and I'm present when I drink my coffee. The next point that I'm present is when I do my housework, which I've talked about that. That's when I talk to my guys, invite them in, and I'm just present and I wait for messages. Then at the end of the day, and usually I'll do kind of like a meditation right before I go to sleep, where I'll just like 10 minutes and I'm just kind of sitting or laying down with the intention of just meditating. So I know I'm not falling asleep, I'm just meditating. So usually I'll read or something after that. So I have that nighttime. So it's kind of sprinkled throughout the day. And you don't have to make them long. You can make them really brief. You can just do it, when you dry dishes or when whatever, go out and get the morning paper or take your dog for a walk or whatever. They can be really brief things. They don't have to be long, drawn out things that you're in the moment for. Another one is just to pause and take a big deep breath in and a big deep breath, and just like a mindful breath in, feeling it, kind of come in and up, and then letting it out and just being awake and aware and with that breath. And Eckhart Tolle talks about that one mindful breath is a meditation. And so keeping that in mind, but that is what I would suggest that we do right now. And when I got that dream, I thought that something is building. And so this would be a great time to add to that by adding in this kind of higher consciousness that we're all concentrating, bringing in. Yeah, so I hope I explained that okay. um, and it's a bit of hope, right? Because I know that the everything is it is like it's cratering, right? Everything, and that we knew this was going to happen. We just didn't know it would be so fast, but we did in a way, because when this happened, the guide said, or my guide said, that this would be the faster but harder path, rockier. It would be very, but it would be fast. So, yeah, so that's what I want to say. I just want to remind you, because I'm going to send out information in May. So if you're interested in any of the 3 classes over the summer, please just send me an email and just tell me which ones, and I'll get you the information in May. All of them will be by donation only. So it'll be a suggested $25 donation. I'm good with that. And I want anybody that wants to take them to take them. One is going to be a repeat of the New Earth study group. And then the other one is going to be the repeat of the empath workshop, which is 4 classes. The New Earth is 10 weeks, 1-hour classes each week on Mondays. The empath class is on Thursday evenings, and it's 1 hour, and it is 4 weeks. And then the orb one, I'm not quite sure yet, but that one is going to be, I think it might be 3 or 4 classes, but it's going to be a short kind of class at the beginning, just talking about different techniques and things you can do to do orbs. And then the second part of the class, or most of the class, will be sharing footage that we've all gathered, so it should be really fun. And that will be either 3 or 4 weeks. We'll see. That's what I got. And I'm hoping just to keep our spirits up, to keep our focus kind of on positive things rather than the negativity that might be swirling around. Yeah, I also felt that there was a lot of I felt a couple of things about the White House that I just wanted to say, that there is definite like friction and almost like groups not pitted against each other, but they're kind of breaking off, like breaking off, and they think this thing, and these people think this thing, and these people think this thing, and I feel like they're all kind of at odds with each other. So one might be like the Christian right group, and they have their agenda, and then there might be an economic group, they have their agenda, and the Russian people, it's like there's a whole bunch of different like factions that are kind of breaking away from each other and kind of trying to run their own agendas. So it's very it's chaotic, but it's also very tense, a lot of tension. And the other thing that I felt was that we might start seeing a lot of people leaving, like people like last time leaving. And we also might see some, oh, what was the other thing I was going to say? What was the other thing I was going to say? I didn't feel like that Elon was actually going anywhere. I feel like they might make it look like he's not involved anymore, but that he is. So I just had that for entertainment purposes only. And is there anything else about the White House? Yeah, so that's what I got, but it did feel like there was, oh, there are this is for entertainment purposes only. There are a few people, because I would say it's more than 2, that are, let's say, working for good from the inside. And I feel like we may start seeing some leaks or some like whistleblowing. That was the other thing. I'm glad I remembered, because that was important, but I keep getting there's a few. And I don't really, it's interesting because here, because I'm in the UK, so here there isn't that right now in the US, it feels like there's a density to the energy that is hard to, I always feel like I'm kind of fighting through that density to read, and then I'm fighting through that density to look at this or look at that. It's very interesting. You hear it, it's not here. So it's definitely a US thing that's the energy right now. And for lack of a better word, I don't know what you lower vibration, lower frequency. There's something there that just feels a little bit like pushing through a wall, and you can get through it, especially if you're at a high vibration. You can get through it. I don't want to make it sound like nobody can read there. No, that's not the case. It's just, but it's a, it's like you push through it and then you're fine. Here, there isn't that. There doesn't feel like that layer. Everything feels lighter. So there's not that density to it. I just wanted to mention that. So, um, as things come in, I'll let you know. I don't feel as like going into this kind of energy here as much, which is interesting. There, I feel like I can't be in dense energy and go into dense energy, if that makes sense. Or I can't be in low vibe, really, fighting through low vibration to get into low vibration. It just doesn't work. So we'll see. So maybe it'll be more comfortable here and I can give a little bit more information. I don't really want to get mired in that because I don't feel like it's good for any of us, but it's also, I think it's sometimes good to know if it's positive. I want to keep people's spirits up. I want people to feel like, okay, this or okay, this. It's not to give false hope, but if it's stuff I can see and I know it's there, I want to at least give that. So there's a sense of, oh, okay, there's relief inside, or there's something. So I just wanted to pass that along. So anyway, crazy. So I hope you guys are doing well, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a great, what is it? It's Wednesday. Have a great Wednesday, and I will talk to you guys soon. Take care.